Alright, welcome back friends. It's been a minute, but I'm finally back. And with a bang, because I'm not only going to take you through the process of how I paint a damn cool movie scene, but we're also going to learn what's so great about painting it, and why it's so useful. And to top things off, I'm also going to show you guys what might be the greatest artist lamp on the planet. So, without further ado, buckle up friends and let's take another dive into the mind of an artist. As you can see, today I'm painting a movie scene, and I'm painting it into a sketchbook. I've prepared the sketchbook with a simple and quick method so that the surface of the paper is a bit better to paint on, and then I transferred the scene I want to paint onto the sketchbook so that I can get quickly started with the painting process. This is a very simple, quick and dirty way to get things off the ground fast, but there are also a dozen other ways. As I've said many times before, there is no right or wrong way of doing this. Whatever works for you is fine, and the end result speaks for itself anyway. If you can't draw, it will always show in the final painting no matter what, and if you can't paint, it doesn't matter how good your drawing skills are. Nothing will save you from creating a bad painting. Always remember that, guys. Whatever tools, shortcuts, processes help you reach your goal, those are also the right ones. And if you can paint a straight line just by hand, and that's also what you want to do, hey, good for you. Whatever tickles your pickle. I'll continue to use a ruler, because it kinda makes sense. That's what rulers are made for. What's so cool about this little movie scene here is the interesting and unusual lighting situation. Now, I like the Joker movie and especially Joaquin Phoenix as much as the next guy, but it's ultimately the beautiful composition and the lighting situation that made me want to paint this scene. We have a figure that is backlit, basically a silhouette against a bright background. And the figure is lit by two colored light sources. And it's those two light sources that really bring the figure to life. Not only do the lights set the figure apart from the background, but they also sculpt the actor's face and really underscore the look and feel of the character. They are positioned in such a way that the light is caught by all the sharp angles in the actor's face, amplifying the whole emaciated look of the character. The warm and cool light also complement each other beautifully, while simultaneously creating a cold-warm contrast, which is one of the simplest and most effective ways to create a bit more interesting color composition in your painting. Make no mistake here, guys, me painting this scene isn't much of an artistic achievement. Any decent painter can do this, but the true artists here are the cinematographer and the gaffer who designed this shot in the movie. That's where the true artistry lies. But let's talk a bit about the painting process. As you saw, I started the painting by painting all the darkest parts first, with pure black, by the way. Then I painted the orange and teal lit areas on the face, and now I'm painting the skin itself, which is more or less just variations of gray. So, if you think about it, the whole face can be divided into 4 parts, 4 different shapes. One for the shadows, one for each lit area, and one shape for the skin color itself. And that's also what I'm constantly thinking about at the beginning of the process. Abstract shapes of color. If you get the relationship between the abstract shapes right, you automatically end up with something that looks convincing. The thing about realism in a painting is that it's an emergent property, meaning individual color shapes and brush strokes don't look realistic. It's only when you put them together in a particular way that you create something that resembles the real world. And it takes surprisingly little to create that effect. You don't need many shapes and brush strokes. What you really need are the right ones. As you can see, I have barely put down paint at this stage, but the face is already taking shape and looking quite convincing. And from here on out, it's actually not going to change that much, if I'm honest. And that's because from now on, I will only be adding details and tweaking things here and there, but the foundation of the painting will stay the same. Next up is the bright and almost neon background, which the overall dark silhouette of the character is set against. Again, hats off to the people who designed the shot. It's equally beautiful and skillfully composed. Painting the background here isn't exactly rocket science. I basically work my way from light to dark. In this case, from white to a light teal shade. But whenever you paint something like this, lights or a glow effect, there's one small but crucial thing to keep in mind. And that is, never paint bright lights with a dirty brush. You have to have a clean brush. And once you've put down the brightest color, never, and I mean never, touch that spot again. Trust me, you'll only end up ruining the whole effect. Painting lights isn't hard, but doing it with a clean brush is absolutely essential. And speaking of lights, here's what I wanted to show you guys. This here, friends, might actually be the greatest artist's desk lamp on the planet. And I'm not even being paid to say that. This is not a sponsored or paid video, and BenQ, the company that makes this lamp, at this point doesn't even know this video exists. So, a couple of months ago, they sent me this lamp asking me for feedback, and I've been using it for various painting sessions ever since. All the time, actually. And what can I say? I'm not only genuinely surprised by it, but I'm also quite enthusiastic about this little unsuspicious looking lamp. And I wanted to share it with you guys. So, what makes this lamp so great? Well, not only can you dim the light as little or as much as you want, almost continuously, but you can also change the color temperature of the light. I own quite a few different lamps, including professional LED lights for photography, which I use in my studio, and they don't even come with these two features. At least not if you don't spend a fortune. But that's not even all. On top of that, you can easily and quite conveniently switch the light on and off by just touching the lamp, and the lamp itself is quite easily adjustable. So you can quickly change the position of your light source when you have to, which I constantly do. Now, is this a perfect piece of equipment? No, of course not. I mean, nothing is. It's not the most beautiful lamp in existence, nor is it the brightest, and the adjustability could be a bit more effortless, but I personally found this little piece of equipment so useful that I found myself wishing I had a second one. It's not the cheapest lamp you can buy, and you certainly don't need it, but if you're looking for something like this and you work at a desk, and of course if you have the money to spend on it, I can totally recommend it. So if you're interested, I'll have a link for you guys in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. Okay, let's get back to the painting. Let's finish this one off. So, after painting the background, there's really only one more thing left to do before we can call it a day, and that is to push the realism and depth just the tiniest bit further so that the whole thing looks a bit more polished. I don't make any major changes here, but what I do is pay close attention to the reference and make slight adjustments based on what I'm seeing. Now, this part is kind of fun when you paint at such a small scale. One tiny brushstroke can completely change everything, which can be quite satisfying. But on the flip side, it also means that you can easily ruin everything. As you can imagine, if the nose or the lips or the eyes are off by just a fraction of an inch, the whole thing falls apart. And not only then is the likeness gone, but the proportions would also look completely off. Now, normally I wouldn't really recommend painting at this scale to anyone, because If you don't have the experience and the brush handling skills, especially from years and years of painting, this probably isn't going to work. And it's going to be impossible to paint, and more frustrating than anything else. But if you've never done it and never even thought about it, I highly suggest you at least give it a shot once, because it's actually an incredibly interesting experience. And it does teach you some valuable lessons. Painting and analyzing a movie scene like this one here, one that is masterfully composed and artistic in every way, can teach you more about design, aesthetics and composition than reading a dozen books about art or painting for hundreds of hours. And ultimately, it's all these little things you pick up about design, composition and color that make the difference between good and great art. Friends, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video and want to support the channel and help me create many more of these videos in the future, you can do so by becoming a patron. By joining the Patreon campaign, you not only help me keep creating these videos, but you also get access to a bunch of cool rewards, like joining the exclusive Art Minds Discord server, or access to additional art posts, or you get a look behind the scenes and a look at what I'm doing when I'm not creating videos for YouTube. And with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end. Special thanks to all my $10 patrons and the artists of the roundtable. Look at all these magnificent names. Thanks for supporting this channel and for being so generous. You guys really make these videos possible, and I couldn't do it without you. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Please hit like, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and yeah, have a good one.